About 2 years ago, one of my best mates made me the weirdest offer I've ever received. He told me he'd give me $1,000, yes, $1,000, if I watched anime. But there was one catch. I had to actually pay attention and I had to get 100% on a quiz. So I know this channel has been mostly about me navigating my breakup and sharing my experiences and stories. But I want to share a positive one with you guys today because it's always good to be positive. This is something that actually helped me in more ways than I can imagine. And the more that I reflect on it, the more I realize how helpful and how much it impacts you when you have good people to surround you, especially when you go through tough times. Now, I have a really close mate. Let's just call him Mo. Now, Mo, he was a massive anime fan. He was constantly recommending me anime and for trying to get me to watch anime ever since I've known him, and I've known him for over 10 years. I was always putting it off because I always thought anime was like for weebs, you know? Back then it wasn't mainstream, as popular as it is now. So I was never really into it and I never wanted to get into it, and I was very against it because for more people who don't know animes, you guys can understand the feeling of not wanting to watch something that everyone is watching. Because honestly, guys, I thought I was being cool by not watching anime. But boy, was I wrong, bro. Boy, was I wrong. That's not to say I don't have that mindset now. I do kind of have that mindset still, but after opening my eyes to anime and $1,000, it's changed. It's changed. My view on anime has changed. I still think some animes are fucked up and weird. There's some really good gems out there that I'm yet to come across and that I've already seen. So for context, my mate Mo owns and runs his own clothing brand. It's an anime streetwear clothing brand, and he goes to conventions all around the country. He loved anime that much that he started a clothing brand. He made all the designs and literally just went out and started selling them to conventions. So he asked me if I wanted to go work with him. And for the first convention, I said no because I was really like down, depressed in the dumps. This was like 2.5 years ago, and I was not feeling it, bro. Not feeling it. But then he really tried to convince me because he was trying to get me out of the house. And now that I look back at it, he was trying to get me out of the house because I was stuck at home being depressed. But yeah, that's what good friends do, man. They try to get you out of the house, and that's what you want, man. That's what you want. And this brother loved anime so much, and he really wanted me to get invested into anime. He wanted to share that love with me. And I always denied him and I always said hell no. Okay, maybe this story might make me sound like an asshole for taking the money, but for taking the contract, but man, who's not gonna give up $1,000? Okay? So before you judge me, just listen. So my mate one day we're talking and he goes, listen, I will give you $1,000 if you watch Jujutsu Kaisen with me. However, it has to be with me constantly. I have to be there watching those episodes with you. And you have to pass and get 100% on a quiz that he makes. So I was like, what the fuck? $1,000 to watch anime? Brother, put me on. And when I tell you that this shit took long because I was so stubborn, even when money was on the line, I dragged it because I just didn't want to. But then I watched the first episode and then I watched the second episode with him, and then slowly started building up. I'll be honest with you guys, this is not a review of Jujutsu Kaisen, but that first season is pretty good but slow. But when the second season came, the Shibuya arc, I was like, God damn, this is actually some heat, bro. This is actually really good. And we sat there for, let's say, I think 2 weeks, and every day we'd watch a couple episodes. And there were days where we'd literally binge like 5, 6 episodes every night. It actually got my mind off what was happening with me at the time without me even noticing. I actually had something to look forward to every day. I used to wake up and think about the show and be excited to sit down and watch it with him. Not because I was just making money, but because it was it was something to look forward to when I had literally nothing to look forward to at the time. So he went out of his way, out of his busy schedule to sit down and watch it with me and build up this contract with me and literally discuss with me and talk with me about this certain show. He was like, you know what? I'm going to do you one better. Let's make it fun. He said, let's make the quiz a game show and let's invite all of our mates. So it was a kind of a fun, little get together that also included a little game quiz show he made because all of my mates had seen JJK at the time, except for me. Or every single one of I have like a group of 5 or 6 boys. Every single one of them have seen anime and they love anime. except for me. So I was the odd one out. So he invited everyone to his house, and then we got together, and the pressure was on, man. The pressure was on. I remember spending hours the day of the day studying, especially when I was at work. I was just on my phone taking those quizzes and studying them, and it was like, because man, $1,000 on the line. Of course I'm gonna go for that shit, and of course I'm gonna study it than I ever studied for any exam ever. I studied harder for this JJK quiz than I ever studied for my HSC exam. So he had sat me. Actually, I was standing in front of all my mates, and he had the TV up, and it was like a game show. He was asking me the questions, and I had to answer him rapid fire, and I was getting points for them. And it was such a fun moment in my life, and I genuinely will never forget this. Like all my mates gathered around, they were cheering me on, and they wanted me to win this $1,000. And I won't lie to you guys, there was times where I was almost gonna fumble the bag because this bloke was dead serious. He was not gonna give me the $1,000 if I didn't get at least 90 to 100% on the quiz. So he was dead serious, and he gave me one phone a friend, and I actually had to use that one phone a friend. But it was a good time, man. It was a good time. And eventually, I remember when I answered that last question, it was, what are Chozo and Yuji to each other? And I was like, bruh, they are brothers. And that's it. I got the money. He dapped me up. All my mates were cheering for me. And it was such a surreal but fun moment. It was really nice, man. Really nice. It was something I really appreciated. And he gave me the prize in front of everyone, and then everyone was cheering for me. Looking back at it, there was no jealousy in that little friend group that I had or still have, and that's what I'm trying to say with these videos, that you have to surround yourself with people who want the best for you, who care about you, who want to. When you have friends who just want to see you succeed, just want to see you happy, just want to see you do better for yourself, it's such a blessing. And I know a lot of you guys don't have that or don't have close friends. I know of a lot of lonely people, and you can surround yourself with a billion friends, a billion followers. But if you don't have that tight knit group of people that you can really trust and you've been through thick and thin together, all those numbers don't matter. I'd rather have one or two amazing, loyal, non jealous, just want the best for you mates than to have 50, 60 boys who just don't give a shit about you and just want to hang out with you just for the sake of hanging out. Because I know a lot of people like that. And I had to cut those people off, bro. Trust me. I've been through a lot of friends that I actually don't want to see. And I would rather cross the street than look at you in the eye. And I don't want to keep going back to this. But this wasn't long after my breakup. So as you guys know, I had been in a relationship for 7 years, and it ended after 7 years. And this was like maybe 5 to 6 months after. And for those 6 months, I was going through constant L's. Every L you can take, I took it. I took it in the love department. I took it in certain friendships. I lost certain friendships. I started to see people's true colors. I started to become insanely depressed. I had no motivation or drive to even get out of bed in the morning after that. Constant downs, constant downs, constant downs. I could not find a smile. I could not find light. I could not find any sort of happiness in anything for those 6 months. So I know he will never admit this, but I know he did this just to see me win something. Because after those constant L's I was taking, I was so excited. But that excitement that I had wasn't because I was winning $1,000. Obviously, that plays a little part. Let's be realistic with ourselves here. But what I was genuinely excited about is that for the first time in a long time, I actually won something. After those constant L's I was taking, after those constant downs I was having with no ways of ever seeing up again, I actually won something. And man, was it a fucking amazing feeling. And that $1,000 that I won, was literally a gateway into me getting my dream car, or one of my dream cars, which was a WRX. And I bought that WRX not even a week later. And it's not because I wanted the car, which obviously that plays a factor, but I realized that every time I looked at it, I remembered one genuinely happy memory in a sea full of shit ones. Fast forward a year and a half, the same mate who done that for me ends up finding the woman for him. He ends up getting married. And at his wedding, he asked me to be essentially his best man and to give a wedding speech. Now, I was nervous as hell, bro. I was shitting my pants. But I was like, you know what? I'll do it for you. And I had a plethora of stories that I could tell. Boiled it down to essentially two stories. One of them was a funny one, and this one was also a funny one, but I had to mention it because out of every story I could have told, I chose this one because it summed up our friendship. I could have told millions of funny stories of millions of times where he pissed me off, or he done my head in, or I done his head in, or we just bunch of memories that you can just make with friends. But I chose this one because it's it's not about giving an expensive gift. It's not about being dramatic. It's a stupid anime bet. And that's friendship. When you do stupid shit like that with your friends, it just makes your bond last forever. That's something I'll never forget, man. And it's not a Baz After Hours video if I'm not reflecting and thinking too deep into something. Because a year later, I realized and I really thought about it. And I actually told him this to his face. I'm like, man, you really gave me a win after all these losses, man. And I really appreciate that. And he was like, yeah, man, it's all good. You know, I'm just happy that I could do something that actually made you smile. And fuck, man, that's all good friends, man. That's what having good friends is all about. That's what I'm trying to say. Surround yourself with people like that, man. Surround yourself with people who actually genuinely care for you. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have these people around me. There's like two specific mates that actually helped me so much during this period of depression that I had. Without them, I actually genuinely don't know where I'd be. And they've made me feel less alone in this male loneliness epidemic. And yes, I might not be doing too well in the women department, but I'm happy because I've got good friends. And sometimes the things that pull us out of our darkest moments are not like a huge grand gesture or a huge thing. Sometimes they're just being really good friends. A stupid bet, a shared TV show, and people who refuse to let you stay stuck. And looking back, my mate didn't just give me $1,000. He ignited the fire in me. He made me remember what it was like to win, what it was like to have a good moments in life. And he gave me something to look forward to. And now I help him with most of his conventions. I've traveled to basically all parts of Australia with him. And I've met a lot of new people because of it. And I'm getting a lot of new experiences. Some diabolical ones too. I won't lie to you guys. And we built so many memories because of anime. And I won't lie to you guys, man, I really like JJK. It's probably my favorite anime because of that reason, because of what it means to me. And I know it's probably not the popular opinion in the anime community. And to be honest with you guys, I've only seen 3 animes. To me, Jujutsu Kaisen will always hold a special place in my heart because of this. And since then, we've watched every episode and discussed every episode together. And it's been such a joyride. And I've loved it. I've loved it even more ever since. And you may think that the money was what I was most excited about and most happy about. But honestly, guys, that $1,000 means nothing. It's the fact that he actually made me feel something again, some sort of happiness, some sort of excitement, some sort of fire after months and months and months of literally feeling nothing but sadness and depression. And at that point in my life, I probably needed that a lot more than I needed $1,000.